A Denton police officer is in critical condition after he was shot while on duty last night. We'll have a live report.
Plus, as residents evacuate their homes, firefighters struggle containing fires across Los Angeles.
And we'll tell you why police say you need to be extra careful when you visit an ATM in Denton.
From the Mayborn School of Journalism at the University of North Texas, this is NT Daily News.
A Denton police officer was shot and critically injured last night during a traffic stop. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gavin Dunaway.
And I'm Justine Chavez. NT Dailies' Brianna Adams is live at the police department where she just got an update. Brianna?
I'm here at Medical City Denton, where Denton Police Chief Frank Dixon just gave an update on the officer shot last night at the Taco Bell on West University Drive. The officer has been identified as Urbano Rodriguez Jr., a 5-year veteran for Denton Police Department, and the backup officer on the scene who administered aid and shot back at the suspects has been identified as Randy Cole, who has been with the department for 1 year. Officer Rodriguez is out of surgery but still in critical condition at the Denton Medical Center following last night's shooting, and Denton PD still has the surrounding area blocked off for the investigation. The department spoke about what happened leading up to the shooting and the subsequent arrest made by Carrollton PD during a press conference around 3:30 this morning. They posted this on the department's Facebook page.
During the course of the traffic stop, an officer was shot, and backup officers at the scene were there, returned fire. The suspects fled the scene, and the officer was transported to the hospital. Teletype was put out. Carrollton PD located the suspect vehicle. There was a short pursuit.
The Taco Bell where the shooting took place was closed today while Texas Rangers were on the scene investigating. Meanwhile, other officers are still at the hospital waiting for more updates or a change in their fellow officers' conditions. Both suspects have been identified, and the driver was identified as Antoine Pinkston and the passenger Michelle Stacy. Both have lengthy histories with the Denton Police Department and criminal records overall. There will be more updates if any more critical information comes up.
2 people died and 12 more were injured after a man started shooting near Texas A&M Commerce this weekend. This happened around 8 p.m. Saturday when officers responded to a parking complaint. The shooting caused 750 people to run away from a party. The bullets didn't stop there. On Sunday, loved ones hosted a vigil for those who died, but it was interrupted by gunfire. Police charged 23-year-old Brandon Ray Gonzalez for capital murder on Monday. Officials say that Gonzalez may have been targeting one person. UNT Homecoming is this week, and we talked to some students who are reconsidering their plans to attend after the shooting near Texas A&M Commerce. UNT's Director of Student Activities said in an email that the Office of Emergency Management and Event Safety Committee have worked to reduce safety risk. That did not change the mind of a student, Gabriel Blevins, who says his friend was at the A&M Commerce party and that has weighed on his mind.
I'm not going anymore because after something like that, just hearing about it, I don't feel really that safe going, so I'm not going to be attending.
We'll have a preview of homecoming events planned this week coming up later in the newscast.
If you use an ATM in Denton, you should take extra precautions. Denton police warn multiple people in the city have been recent victims of a new crime trend. Denton Police Department issued a warning about recent incidents of jugging that are affecting people in Denton. Jugging is when people withdraw money from an ATM and are then followed to their next location and are being robbed of their cash and valuables.
One day I started withdrawing. I needed some cash. We were all going out Friday night, go out for some drinks. But yeah, I did notice like a couple guys like walking around me. So it's kind of sketchy. I didn't continue with my transaction. I think it's just best to like do the drive-through ATMs.
According to Denton PD, there has been 8 reports of jugging in less than 4 months, totaling around $20,000 in losses.
We always tell them that withdrawing late at night, larger amounts, you should be careful. There's always people around, always looking for, someone to rob. especially during where we're working at. My bank is one of the more busier areas, so there's always a lot of traffic and always a lot of money going in and out of it. So that's why we always tell them to either come during opening hours or whenever it's still like light out, because it's harder to tell where people are around and parked or if there are people in their cars during those hours, so you can't really tell, like, get a feel for it.
When it comes to dealing with larger amounts of cash, the best policy is to use a cashier's check from your bank. When you purchase a cashier's check, you are required to fill out a payee name. That way the check can't be compromised by anyone else. You will also receive a receipt that allows you to track the check to see if it's been negotiated or not.
I would definitely tell them that if they feel like they're being watched, if they can return that money, like deposit it right back and, take a lower amount to do so. If they can't and they're already driving, to just go to a highly populated area where there's more people around. Robbers get more discouraged when there's more people around, because they want it to be like a quick in and out type of action.
Denton PD is encouraging everyone to remain vigilant of their surroundings and to not leave valuables in your vehicle. If you ever find yourself in an uncomfortable situation at the ATM, the bank says trust your gut and don't follow through with your transaction until you feel safe enough to do so.
The University of North Texas is in the process of using eminent domain to take over 4 properties on Avenue C. The owner of New York SubHub has been very vocal about this matter, and now this sign is posted on the restaurant door. It says, UNT is threatening eminent domain on our store after 40 years in business. Earlier this year, UNT contacted the businesses, but all 4 properties turned down the buyout offer, so UNT is officially starting the process of eminent domain. The businesses involved are the Campus Bookstore, New York SubHub, Eagle Car Wash, Oriental Express, and Naranja Cafe.
More than 25 million people are under a red flag warning in California as firefighters struggle to contain fires. There are currently 10 wildfires burning through thousands of acres. California's largest utility, Pacific Gas and Electric, says nearly 4 million people could be without power. Videos from residents in Los Angeles show how aggressive these fires have gotten. Governor Gavin Newsom advises people to listen to the experts.
Go means go. When there's a mandatory evacuation, listen to the experts. Save not only your own life, but don't put our first responders in harm's way.
High winds have begun today, causing evacuation orders for residents in the eastern side of Sonoma County. Officials say it could take weeks to months for all the flames to be extinguished. As millions evacuate their homes, many are left to wonder whether or not they will have a home to go back to. NT Daily's Jeremy Beedling sat down with a UNT student whose home back in California is in jeopardy of being lost in the wildfire.
He came to UNT from Northern California, and the house he grew up in is threatened by wildfires right now. 1,500 miles away, Max can only watch as the pictures roll in of the fire getting closer and closer to his family's home, the home he was hoping to come home to for the holidays.
Our house has been in a fire once before. It was the Tubbs fire in 2017, and our house was like well within the burn boundary, and it was thankfully saved by firefighters and strike teams who were able to defend it pretty well because there weren't any trees immediately around our house. But whenever there's a fire and high winds, especially if they're blowing towards us, we're like, okay, this isn't good.
With the fire still raging on, over 9,000 firefighters are fighting to keep the wildfires contained and keep them away from neighborhoods and businesses. In the meantime, over 200,000 people, including Max's family, are currently evacuated from their homes for their safety. Jeremy Beedling, NT Daily News.
There's lots of damage and debris still left in Dallas after 10 tornadoes tore through North Texas last week. Homes, schools, and businesses were damaged in this whirlwind. Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban donated $100 million to the Dallas Education Fund. According to Dallas ISD, the tornadoes destroyed 3 schools. Cuban also donated $4,500 worth of gift cards and supplies to the school district.
Coming up next, learn more about the candidates who are challenging a long-standing U.S. Senator for his seat in the House.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. You're going to get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
I got some Oxy after I hurt my neck. First, I took them to feel better. Then, I just kept taking them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
We're a year out from the 2020 elections, but Democratic candidates are already gearing up to run against John Cornyn for the U.S. Senate. NT Daily TV's Joshua Siegel has the story.
Democratic candidates prepare to face off in the primaries for the chance to unseat Senator John Cornyn. One of the candidates is Houston Councilwoman Amanda Edwards, who spoke at a restaurant in Frisco this past weekend.
Amanda Edwards is a young Democrat herself. She is one of the youngest elected office holders. She's a council member down in Houston. And we put out a call on Twitter for candidates who were interested to come and speak to us. Amanda agreed, and we made it happen.
The event took place at Jake's Burgers and Beer, where she spoke about why she is running and the issues most important to her.
Sometimes it's not being in the spaces where you're most comfortable that's what's important. It's about being in the spaces that you're needed. And so somebody who's going to get in there, get to work for the people.
The main focus for the Democrats will be getting people out to vote.
I think the more people we get to turn out, the more positive the results for Democrats will be.
There are a total of 10 candidates running in the primary, including MJ Heger, a veteran of the U.S. Air Force, Crispell and Sima Hernandez. The Young Democrats of Denton County believe Edwards' message gives her a chance.
I also think that when it comes to key issues like gun rights, to immigration, to the economy, to public education, I think the Democrats have a winning message on that front, and the more we're able to put that in front of the voters, the clearer the choice becomes.
Senator John Cornyn has held his Senate seat since 2003. In Texas' last Senate election, Beto O'Rourke did not manage to unseat Ted Cruz, but he did create a lot of energy with his campaign. Democrats hope to use that to fire up their voters in 2020. For NT Daily TV, I'm Joshua Siegel.
The primaries will be held on March 3rd of next year.
The impeachment inquiry into President Trump is quickly gaining momentum. Over the next few days, a lot of pieces to the puzzle may start to fall into place. John Lornick reports.
More static about President Trump's phone call to Ukraine, where he requested the government investigate Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden and his son, Hunter.
How is it an abuse of power? It's sicking a foreign government on an American citizen to investigate them to help the president stay in power.
Army Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman says that July phone call concerned him, calling it his sacred duty and honor to advance and defend our country, irrespective of party or politics. Vindman is telling House impeachment investigators he reported those worries to a superior.
He has the credibility, the stature, the proven service to the country, the willingness to put his life at risk and stand up and do what's right.
Mr. Trump's supporters say there was nothing inappropriate about the call.
The transcript of the president's call with President Zelensky shows that there was no quid pro quo. He did nothing wrong.
This fake impeachment inquiry has been ill-conceived and illegitimate.
Meanwhile, on Thursday, Judge Richard Leone wants to hear from lawyers from the White House, the House of Representatives, and from impeachment witness Charles Kupperman. This after Kupperman filed a lawsuit asking the federal court to decide whether or not he has to testify. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
House Democratic leaders said the full House will vote to officially formalize the impeachment inquiry on Thursday.
Coming up, the city of Denton has a challenge for you. We'll tell you how you can help the homeless.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid. A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close. I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us. But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words. These are not my words. These are not my words. This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
A 17-year-old is facing a murder charge in the adult justice system. I was able to speak with a few experts to learn how a minor can be tried as an adult in Texas and why it's very controversial to do so. After allegedly stabbing and killing a man, police arrested Noah Brunson on October 16th. Despite being a minor, officers took Brunson to the Denton County Jail, where he sits now with a $100,000 bond. Prosecutors charged Brunson as an adult because of the way Texas separates criminal and civil laws.
Under the civil side, there's minors. Minors is someone who can't make a decision for themselves because they're under the age of 18 in this case, all right? And that's pretty much nationwide, almost worldwide. For making contracts and stuff, we've decided 18 is the cutoff, where if you're under 18, you're a minor. In criminal, we don't really have minor. We have juvenile and adult. But in Texas, a juvenile is ends at 17, someone under the age of 17.
Brunson would be at the juvenile detention center if he was under 17 at the time of his crime. However, he would most likely be transferred to the adult system anyway through a certification process.
If you're 16, in almost every county in Texas, you will probably be certified. You get down to 15, 14, then the circumstances surrounding the murder come into play. But I would just say, if you're 16, it's very, very, very common when charged with murder for you to be certified as an adult.
Some people argue transferring a juvenile to the adult system may be wrong because of their mental capacity.
Many of them think they got me. There's no reason to keep this going. Let me just get it over. And so you'll see, we call that time discounting, where the person will say, look, I'm done, let's get it done, let's get it over with, and they give up very valuable rights at that point.
There is also a legal viewpoint against the transfer process.
When you're not given actual responsibilities of doing things like signing a contract or, doing things in the civil realm, but we're gonna hold you responsible when you do a bad thing. I think people just think that's unfair and unjust, and I think there is an argument there.
Texas is one of only 4 states in the U.S. that charges 17-year-olds as adults.
Nonprofits in Denton County are doing all they can to prevent homelessness, but sometimes they don't have the money they need. UNT Dailies' Corey and Tilly is here to tell us what the city is doing to help.
Right now, if you donate $1, the city of Denton will turn it into 2. The Barriers Fund gives money to agencies in Denton County that work with the homeless when they need it. But since launching in 2018, the fund has had to close 4 times because it ran out of money to give. In order to help, the city of Denton issued a challenge grant to United Way of Denton County. The city promises to match all donations given to the Barriers Fund up to $40,000.
The city of Denton could have just donated the $40,000, but by making it a challenge grant, then the fund will have $80,000 in there to help our neighbors who are in need.
So far, the Barriers Fund has assisted 72 homes in Denton County. Anyone who is interested can go to unitedwaydenton.org to donate. To Corey and Tilly, UNT Daily News.
An important DFW sports figure spoke on UNT's campus today. We'll tell you what he had to say after the break.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, babe.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
So we were walking to school.
I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart.
want cheese pizza.
Sometimes her mind wanders.
We should have a sleepover.
I remember saying, Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
I really hope she doesn't
I
have
really
another
hope we
bad
don't
day.
have another bad day at school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
A new NCAA ruling allows student athletes to make a profit. The NCAA announced its Board of Governors unanimously voted to allow athletes to profit from their own name and likeliness. This ruling comes after California passed a law allowing college athletes to hire agents and compensation for endorsement deals. The NCAA says it hopes to adopt the new rules no later than 2021. Dallas Mavericks manager and president of basketball operations was on UNT's campus for the Distinguished Speaker Lecture Series today. Students and faculty were able to have a conversation with Donnie Nelson. Nelson has 22 years of NBA experience and his dad is an NBA legend as well. He talked about his upbringing and how hard his father worked to provide for his family.
He literally sold season tickets, he promoted games, everything that make ends meet while you're winning championships and having parades every other year.
UNT's Grammy-nominated jazz group, the 1 O'Clock Lab Band, has been invited to perform at the Lincoln Center in New York City this January. The Lincoln Center is managed by acclaimed musician Wynton Marsalis, who sent a personal invite to the group. UNT is one of only 10 collegiate ensembles to make the cut for the competition. Dean of Music John Richmond said he's thrilled his students are getting the opportunity to showcase their skills at such a prestigious event. The band will be under the direction of composer and alumnus Alan Baylock. It's officially homecoming week here on UNT's campus, meaning a week's worth of spirit activities for students to enjoy. It all leads up to the football team taking on UTEP this Saturday at Apogee Stadium. The parade will take place at 9:30 on Saturday, leading into the tailgate and other pregame festivities. Students will have a number of fun options throughout the school week as well. They can attend the Spirit Bash tomorrow at 6, the Yell Like Hell event on Thursday, or catch the bonfire on Friday night.
That's our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time for NT Daily News.